Hey everybody, I'm Curtis.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is Love at First Fright. I think the most messed up thing that's happened to me in my life.
Ever? Okay.
Unequivocally.
I'm ready.
Is that just as the summer was beginning and when I needed them most is when Flavortown Food Fight is going on break.
And that's the worst thing that's ever happened in your life.
I've waited all, and I can't come up with anything worse.
I know. We've been really lacking for TV recently.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot more YouTube stuff because none of my shows are on.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's not that there's not stuff to watch. There's an infinite amount of stuff to watch.
Yeah. Some might say too much stuff to watch.
Right. I'm not motivated to watch any of it.
Well, I don't want to start something that I gotta use my brain. I don't want to use that.
Well, and I've watched through all of my just random kind of bad shows.
Sure.
I really like The Blacklist, but they don't make that anymore.
It's gone.
And I could watch it again, but I don't really want to.
Start over.
No. Same with Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would rewatch Dexter.
But I've
to a point.
I've rewatched it so many times.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't enjoy it, I do. But even the earlier stuff, there's some things in there that you're
kind of a slog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
Flavortown Food Fight taking a break over the summer seems like an act of aggression targeted specifically at me.
No, I would agree. The summer is an endless hellscape that finds new and creative ways to make my boob and butt sweat.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
No, nobody likes that.
I don't like that.
Yep. I will say the season that is available to watch now, I guess we were slightly mistaken in that we thought that because the premise is 3 chefs come on, they compete, one of them wins, and whoever wins ultimately in the episode goes on and they come back and they compete in the next episode.
Right. Against 2 new chefs.
Against 2 new chefs. And theoretically, you can you could chain that infinitely. You could just keep going. And we thought erroneously that that nobody had achieved this in the run of the show. We were dead set that nobody. If you won one episode, you were for sure going home the next episode.
You're cursed.
And I will say that I don't know how many episodes there are. There's probably
couldn't tell you.
Maybe 12.
Something like that.
But I think it only happened twice.
Yeah.
2 chefs competed in one episode, came back, and then won the second episode. Right. But then they went home in the third episode that they would have been in. Mm-hmm. I think we didn't go back to confirm this because I'm not going to do that. Yeah. That takes the fun out of it.
No. I like to just sort of spout things as facts.
Yeah. And you should believe me.
Right.
Because I'm saying it with enough kind of authority.
Right.
That.
And you guys aren't watching Flavortown Food Fight.
Yeah. You're getting all your news from. I've talked to people about this show, and every time I talk about it, nobody's been like, oh yeah, I just started watching that.
No.
So I think we're on they may be making it just for you and me. I don't know.
Just on our HBO Max.
Yeah. I don't think anybody else in the world can watch it. So this is a fever dream show that Guy Fieri has put on for us.
For our entertainment.
Just for our entertainment.
Dance,
which is
Guy Fieri dance.
Which is also why it's messed up that they're taking a break over the summer.
Yeah, because if it's just
they want a summer vacation. You're in a mythical place where the weather's perfect all the time, I presume. I don't know. I've never been there.
We don't know the climate of
I don't know. They haven't dropped that lore bit. Anyway.
Looks temperate.
It looks fine. It looks relatively comfortable. Everyone's wearing seemingly whatever in any episode, so I don't know that it super matters. Anyway, it only happened twice where the chef who won came back on the second episode and then won again. Every other contestant, we could set our watch to it. Yeah. They would come back. They'd win their first episode because somebody has to win.
Reliable.
Yeah. somebody has to win. So they would win their first episode, then they would come back in the second episode, and it was usually a toss-up on whether they would go home in the first, because there's always two cook-offs in there. It was a toss-up between whether they would go home on that one or the second one. But, like, other than literally, I think, the last guy...
The first guy and the last guy, I'm pretty sure.
Other than those two people, every other person would win one episode and they'd be like, I'm back and I'm going to win again. And then they'd immediately lose.
Beef it hard. Yeah.
And it was great. And I loved it. And I am looking forward to when there are 800 episodes of this.
Now, that's a show I would start again from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Just solely because of the deep lore and writing.
I do feel like we do need to go back from the beginning and watch it, but not for the cooking because I don't care about that now.
We don't know. We don't care about that.
But I do need to listen to every single word that anybody says that could be related to Guy and Flavortown.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I think we need to rip the audio.
Yeah.
We need to put it on vinyl.
Yeah.
And we need to play it backwards.
Ah, there's a coded message in there. And then we're going to
get the nuclear codes.
Yeah. It's Hunter Fieri telling us his entire plan.
And we have cracked the case.
Yes. Wide open. Wide open.
Imagine this is someone's first episode and they have never heard us talk about Flavortown Food Fight.
Yeah, well, because where else are you going to hear about it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're like, what is this show?
What is this? And then they go to look it up and they can't find it.
Find
this is the start of a horror movie.
Right.
Where they've listened to an episode of a podcast talking about a TV show. They can't find the TV show. And then they are like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends. I'll tell them about this weird story. I started listening to this podcast and they're talking about a TV show, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And then they're going to try to show their friends the podcast and the podcast won't show up. We'll have deleted everything. Because we're gaslighting one person.
One guy. And then I'm going to get Hunter Fieri on Cameo to do some heavy breathing. And I'm going to call that person and I'm going to play Hunter Fieri's heavy breathing.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to hang up.
Yes. That's pretty good.
And you can't trace it because it's a burner. 2 steps ahead.
Okay. Good. Good. I was worried about that. I was worried about that part of it. No, but I have been, I don't know, like that's kind of been, it was that and Next Level Chef. I think we were like kind of hard watching those two things. But those are both over now. I don't really have any other TV that I really want to watch. We're also like moving in exactly like 3 days.
Yeah. So. At the time of recording, we are moving in what? 1, 2, 3 days.
Yeah. And like all of our stuff is in boxes except for this
part. Yeah. The computer is still up.
Yeah.
And the closet in this room is also filled to the brim, overflowing comically.
Yeah.
Where if you were to open it, there's a chance it might all tumble out.
Yeah.
But we're going to deal with that later.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
We'll open that closet later.
Yeah. And it's Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. So open the closet.
Yep.
Open the closet and face the demon inside.
I'm coming out.
I want the world to know.
Oh, I was doing that. So you better get this party started.
Oh, okay. Well, we've just found a cool mashup.
Yeah. DJs?
DJs on it.
DJs get on.
Take notes.
We're doing your job for you now?
Yeah.
But other than that, the TV that I've been watching, I have been watching a lot of YouTube stuff. But specifically, I've been watching movies on YouTube.
Okay.
So I watched Westworld.
Mm-hmm.
The movie Westworld, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Westworld was the first feature to use digitized images.
Huh. Well, there you go.
But it was really cool. I mean, it's, you know, if you ever saw the show Westworld, I say that like it's older. It's not. It's much newer. But it's the same.
Now.
It's the same thing. I wish they like really finished that show because I was in it.
I was very invested as well.
But they kind of expand a little bit more on Westworld. I think in the show they talk about that there's like 2 other worlds that exist, but we never really get to see them. But in the movie Westworld, we actually do get to see snippets of these other ones. There's medieval world and Roman world. But I mean, it's basically the same thing that and the androids gain sentience somehow and then they start killing everybody,
which feels more and more possible every day.
Every day. I'd still go to Westworld.
Would you?
I think it's kind of cool.
I'd be scared. I'd be uncomfortable. I don't like the idea.
I got a cool gun. They can't stop me.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't be doing any murder.
They're robots.
Yeah, but I would feel bad. It's like I say please and thank you to like my Google Mini. So I would just feel bad.
I just say, hey Google, I feel bad about this.
Please let me murder you. Thank you.
Just take it out. Anyway, so I watched that, and then I've seen half of Hard Boiled.
Never heard of it.
Which is John Woo, Hong Kong cinema. It's the last movie he made in Hong Kong before he came over to the US.
I see.
And it is hailed as like a pinnacle of like action movies. It is nice. Like dripping with like 80s action stuff, and specifically John Woo action stuff where, you know, people are diving over tables and it goes slow-mo and they're with like 2 handguns and stuff. Nice. It's like crazy over the top. Yeah. But it's really fun, and that's kind of like guilty pleasure stuff. I just like, you know, stuff. And it's pretty good. There's like a mystery element to it. It's not like a whodunit. You know who did it, but like you're following the hard-boiled detective around as he's kind of like getting deeper and deeper into stuff, and there's like a drug trade and stuff like that. Whoa, anyway, it's
drugs,
fun.
What up?
It's fun. It's cool. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of that. Rewatch Die Hard, middle of summer. It feels good in the summer too. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah. And everyone's like, it's a Christmas movie.
Feels good.
You can watch in the summer.
Just as much payoff in the summer.
Yeah, literally just as much payoff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I haven't watched a movie for pleasure. I've watched movies for the podcast, but I have not watched a movie for pleasure in a hot minute.
Yeah.
So I need to do that.
Yeah.
I was actually, a friend of mine is having their birthday later this month. Shout out. I don't think she listens to this podcast.
Yeah.
But you know who you are.
And you know what you did.
But her birthday party is Lorax themed. And so I did try to watch the Lorax, but I couldn't find it anywhere for free. I had to pay for it. And so I was like, I don't care that much.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be on at the party and then I'll get the context. It is a costume party, so I'm dressing up as a character, and I have no idea, like, who this character is, what they do, how significant they are.
How did you even land on this character?
I literally just went to the fandom wiki for the Lorax, and I scrolled the characters page, and I was like, that looks like something I could do. Mm-hmm. And so I picked that. So no idea
like what they're about in the movie.
No, I think they're a bad guy. Just based
I don't
on
know.
Context.
I haven't seen the movie either. I just think it's so funny.
The birthday girl is going to be the Lorax. She's got an orange morph suit and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not going that hard, but it's her birthday, so she does what she wants.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Anyway, I really like action movies, good and bad, and I've seen a lot of bad ones because it's really easy to make bad action movies. I actually think it's easier to make like bad action movies than it is to make like horror movies.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
Because I feel like an action movie, you just have to pick, it doesn't even necessarily have to be like an illegal or illicit activity, but if you just land on like mafia,
there's a crime.
Yeah, and then you have cop or whatever.
Or this guy's getting revenge.
You have a movie. That's it. Because then everyone else in between main protagonist guy who you're rooting for and very obviously like crime boss or villain. Yeah. Everyone else is just goons.
Yeah.
So that doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about the character development in there. They're just there to get punched in the face.
Right. And shot. Yeah.
And thrown off buildings.
And shot in the face.
Yeah.
And whatever. Shot off a building.
Yeah. And shot in the butt.
Yeah. Right
Punched in the butt.
Punched right in the butthole.
Yeah. Anyway, but they're kind of guilty pleasures. I love them a lot. I will watch them pretty much anytime. Anybody can suggest it, and I'll be like, yeah, throw that on. Why not?
I can't relate to this. Yeah. I really don't like action movies.
I know.
Which is kind of funny because I feel like there is a fair bit of overlap between like a lot of horror and action stuff. So like you'd think that I would like it, but I just don't. I find it so boring and mindless.
That's the thrill. That's why they're good.
But see, I would rather watch a bad horror movie.
I mean, those are also good, but they're good for different reasons.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're guilty pleasures, which is all of this is what I'm trying to say is another guilty pleasure of mine is the movie that we did watch, Deep Blue Sea, and shark movies in general.
Bigger, smarter, faster, meaner. These are some of the words.
Work it harder. Build it faster.
Meaner, better. I'm a shark and I'm curing Alzheimer's. Da 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 da. Nailing it.
Yeah.
That's the tagline for the movie.
Yeah, all of what we just said is the tagline. Yeah. It's all on the
box. But bigger, smarter, faster, meaner is the tagline on the box for this movie. And that tells you pretty much everything you need to know. They're genetically modified sharks.
Yes.
And they go crazy. They go apeshit.
They go friggin' nuts.
They lose their shit.
Yeah.
All over the place.
No, I genuinely, this is, Jaws is like my favorite shark movie. Mm-hmm. It's probably like anyone who likes shark movies, it's probably their favorite shark movie. Yeah, I mean,
it's like the one good one.
Yeah, it's like the quintessential shark movie. And I consider myself a specifically shark movie like connoisseur.
You are.
You know that I have just put them on apropos of nothing.
I have watched many shark movies over the course of our relationship that I otherwise would never have put on.
And you can also attest to this. They're like always really bad.
Pretty much all of them are bad. There's the rare good one.
Yeah, I think there's like some where they do like maybe a more novel concept that is like not just inherently stupid.
Sure.
And I think that that's kind of like the idea or the concept is fun, but like by and large, they're usually just like slop fests. Like they're just not, they're not good.
No. And they're very like, you can argue this about really any like sub genre, but shark movies in particular are extremely formulaic where you pretty much always know what's about to happen next.
Yes.
Which there is kind of like a fun comfort in that.
Yeah.
Of, like turn it on and just like you're not going to be like surprised or shocked or whatever. Like you're just
you know what you're in for in like most shark movies.
Yeah.
Which is it's a good and a bad thing. I think within the horror genre of the shark movies have their own tropes that they more or less like stick to, and sometimes they break away from those and it's cool.
Yeah.
Deep Blue Sea I think actually does this in some ways.
I would actually argue that I think Deep Blue Sea like firmed up some of these tropes because there weren't like tons of shark movies going on. Like, yes, there were things that were inspired by Jaws or whatever.
Right.
I'd have to like do some more research and dive into it. But I feel like Deep Blue Sea built on what Jaws created and created some of these tropes that like we always see now.
Yeah. But I also think that like they did a good job of like circumventing some of those things as well, which we can get into when we like fully talk about it.
Yeah.
But for now, what is this movie about? When did it come out? Who's in it?
Yeah. So it's a 1999 science fiction horror film. It was directed by Rennie Harlan and written by Duncan Kennedy, Donna Powers, and Wayne Powers. It has a pretty star-studded cast, actually. I would say there's kind of a mixture of, like, relative unknowns and then, like, some really big names.
Yeah.
So, Thomas Jane is Carter Blake. Saffron Burrows is Dr. Susan McAllister. LL Cool J is Preacher.
Yes.
Jacqueline McKenzie is Jan. Michael Rappaport is Skoggs. Ada Turturro is Brenda. Stellan Skarsgård, shout out Skarsgård, he's got good genes. Dr. Jim Whitlock, and Samuel L. Jackson as Russell Franklin.
Yeah.
There are some other lesser, like smaller characters I'm not going to get into, but that's the main cast. And the basic prompt of this film, so it follows a team of scientists in an underwater facility who are researching the brains of mako sharks to help fight Alzheimer's, only for the sharks to go on a rampage after 2 of the scientists genetically enhance their intelligence in secret.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the vibe here.
Yeah.
One thing I kind of wanted, there was some cool stuff that I found when I was researching the movie, so I kind of wanted to talk about that before we get into the movie.
Yeah.
But first off, so Deep Blue Sea was conceived of originally by Duncan Kennedy. He was the original writer, and then it got passed on later for rewrites to Donna and Wayne Powers. But the original screenwriter, Kennedy, he was inspired after he witnessed a shark attack on a beach near his home. He's Australian and I guess lives close to the beach. But anyway, after he witnessed this, horrific incident, he had a recurring nightmare that he was stuck in a flooded passageway with sharks that could read his mind. And that was like kind of what started this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That movie.
Make that movie. Get his original script back in here.
Yes. So I don't know that that's what he wrote originally, but that was the inspiration, was this nightmare that he kept having.
Well, I hope he's okay with me stealing that wholesale, because that movie needs to be made.
But then the screenplay was presented to Donna Powers and Wayne Powers, who turned it into the final script. And interestingly enough, it looks like, kind of speaking of, and I think you still see elements of this in the movie, the draft that they were originally presented with was much more of an action movie.
Yeah.
It had a lot of like military espionage and like high tech, like grenade launchers and like stuff like that. But they decided that they wanted to play it as more of a horror film. So they really pulled back on that, and they wanted the group to have just like regular people, like a good amount of regular people who didn't really have weapons to fight back, so that you would have that suspense and tension and be more of a horror movie as opposed to an action movie.
Yep.
One more fun fact that I have, and I don't know if this is the right time to say it, but I just loved this fact. LL Cool J's character, Preacher, has a pet parrot.
Okay.
That is introduced early on. It's important to his character.
Sure.
The production team could not afford to have a fully trained parrot for his pet, which seems crazy to me. Like, how expensive are fully trained parrots?
I'm imagining the fucking phone calls. We have to have the... What do you mean we can't get the parrot? They're not going to get the movie if he doesn't have the parrot.
But what they ended up doing was they used multiple parrots, each of which could do like one thing. So they had like one parrot that was trained to sit on his shoulder.
No way.
And then they had one parrot that was like really good at flying.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So they had like multiple parrots.
So it was somehow cheaper to get a flock of multiple parrots that could each only do one trick and not one parrot that could do multiple tricks. And I also, maybe it's not the right time to have brought up that fun fact or whatever. I think it's fine. The parrot's not that fucking important to the fucking movie.
Not at all. Like, you could literally take the parrot out of the movie and nothing would be different.
There's only like one thing that would change, and it's kind of like he gets a little bit pissed off at the sharks because, spoiler, the parrot doesn't make it out of this.
Yeah.
But he's like, you killed my bird. Right. But it's like...
He would have been fighting back anyway.
The sharks are still trying to kill him. It's not like he was like, I don't have beef with the sharks.
Right. They can sense that I'm pure of heart.
They swim past
and
him.
Have good intentions.
Which, again, that would have been a sick movie. LL Cool J can control the sharks.
No, they can read his mind and they know that he is pure of heart.
Right,
and so they're just like on past.
And they let him into Dragonland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I love this movie.
It's such a good movie.
It's really good and also kind of bad.
It's incredibly bad, but really good.
Yeah.
I think it's important, before we get into what happens in this movie, to talk about our experience.
Yes. So our experience with this is not maybe your typical experience.
Yes.
I've seen this movie like many times over the years. In fact, years ago now, we actually did a watch through of Deep Blue Sea through, I think there are 4 of them.
Yeah, there's
Deep Blue Sea 4, which after the first one, which is arguably already kind of bad, you can't, you would be right for imagining they don't possibly get better.
No.
Because they don't. They get drastically worse.
No. I've seen Deep Blue Sea many times. It was one that we had the VHS of growing up in my mom's movie closet, and so it was one that I watched many times.
It's one of those ones that would come on like TNT, and I would just watch it if it was on, because it's a fun movie.
It's very fun. But our experience of it. So let me just set the stage for you.
This is maybe one of my favorite things.
I'm at Goodwill.
Yes.
I'm wandering through the aisles. Anytime I go to Goodwill, I always look in the like physical media section. So I look at the DVDs, I look at the VHS tapes if they have them. Not all of them have them, but I always check.
Yep.
You know, all that stuff. And I'm perusing. They actually had a really big selection of VHS tapes when I went, which was bomb. And I went through and I usually just do like a scan for horror. Like I'm not really interested in buying anything else. So I just scan for horror. And the only 2 that I saw that were horror were The Sixth Sense and Deep Blue Sea. And I decided to buy Deep Blue Sea. I left The Sixth Sense because I felt like we didn't necessarily need that in our physical media collection, because neither of us are like huge M. Night Shyamalan heads or whatever. But I had to pick up Deep Blue Sea. We
call ourselves censors, okay? First of all.
But I had to pick up Deep Blue Sea.
Right.
Because it's exactly up our alley.
Yeah.
It's a so bad it's good.
Yes, it's
movie.
Fantastic. It's perfect.
It's perfect for you because you love shark
movies. Yes, it's great.
And we don't really have any like shark movie VHS tapes yet.
We have Jaws.
We have Jaws. So we have the OG, but we don't have any other ones.
Yeah, now I have the other OG.
The other OG.
Yeah.
But I...
Okay, well, we kind of have the other OG, because...
Yes, because here we go. So, I will say, in the Goodwill, I did pull the tape out to check and make sure it was the right tape. Because I've been burned before at Goodwill where, like, DVDs will get switched or, like, the DVD case will be empty or things like that.
Well, in particular with VHSs, you also have to check because the tapes, if they're not kept well, will get mold on them and they will be destroyed. So, yes.
So, I did look at it, and I will say I immediately had a moment of pause. Because it didn't have, like, on the physical tape, like, it had the box that upon first glance looked fine.
Yeah.
But in the actual tape, it didn't say, like, Deep Blue Sea on it.
Yeah.
It didn't have, like, the little, you know how if you've ever looked at a VHS tape, it has the name of the movie, and then it usually has, like, the production company and, like, some small credits, like, super crammed on there.
Yeah, the little sticker or whatever. Sometimes it's physically printed onto the tape itself. Right. But yeah.
I did notice it didn't have that.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, it's not a different movie, so I'm just going to take my chances and buy it. And, like, worst case scenario, I thought maybe it's, like, a home videotape that got put into this.
Sure.
And, like, it'll be blank or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
whatever.
You know, we'll have a fun time watching somebody's 5th birthday.
Yep.
So I went ahead and brought it home.
We put it in, and it's the shit from like Sinister
or
whatever.
Shit! That would have been crazy.
The fucking creepy music happens. And we're like, what? And then a fucking lawnmower just runs somebody over. That would be nuts.
That would actually, I would call the police. But anyway, so I bring it home, and then we decide we want to watch it for the podcast. And I tell Curtis all of this. I'm like, you know, I don't even know if it is Deep Blue Sea. Like, it's a weird looking tape.
Yeah.
So then Curtis does some research.
Okay. Just let me take over with
this. Yes, you take over.
Because when you say there wasn't, like, the name of the movie on it, what was on the tape is a sticker where the label would go, and it's just white.
It's just white.
And it has a production company on it, which I believe is the New Line Cinema production company logo, which I believe is like a film reel, but like one of the...
Tilted.
It's like Tilted or whatever. I could be wrong, but whatever. I recognized that it was a production company.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, maybe the for some reason the ink for the actual title was like rubbed off or faded off somehow, but all this other stuff.
Somebody like replaced it or
whatever. And so I was like, I mean, this is weird that it's just blank. It was also definitely watched through pretty much all the way. You could tell it hadn't been rewound since whoever watched it last.
Yeah.
Which is going to be relevant here in a second.
Yeah.
But so then I see that little production thing, and then I was like, who made this movie? So then I get on my phone, I look it up, and I'm like, I don't think New Line Cinema had anything
Warner
to do.
Made this movie.
And so then I I'm starting to look over the box, and then I see on the front of the box there are 2 production company logos. One of them being Warner Brothers. I can't remember what the other one is, but it's definitely not New Line Cinema. But what stood out to me was all of the text on this thing is a little blurry.
Yeah.
And not really sharp or in focus. And then I start looking around the box more and realizing, like, the image quality on any of the photos on the back of this VHS box is, like, kind of pixelated and a little bit shitty. Mm-hmm. And so I start reading the back of the box, and I don't know where they got this from, because I don't think it's on the Wikipedia for it. I don't think it's a word-for-word thing or whatever. But I was like, this feels like somebody made this box and, like, photo printed it, like a relatively shitty thing. But they custom made this box, because then we started looking up what the box in its entirety looked like.
Yeah.
And the design of the box we have matches no other box in existence.
So either this is a one-time limited edition printing
that we somehow got our hands on, or somebody made this. And we now 99.9% positive that somebody just made this shit. Because we pop it in, because the only way we're going to know is by putting this bad boy into the VHS player and see what happens. So I pop it in there and I let it play, because there was still a little bit of tape left on the end of it. So whoever watched it got to the end of the movie but didn't let the tape run out on it. So there was a little bit left, and it starts playing, and I can hear very, very faintly, "Deepest, bluest, my hat is like a shark's fin," which is a song LL Cool J was commissioned to make explicitly for this movie. Yes. You do have to go to YouTube to find it. The internet's trying to keep it from you. It exists. It is real. It's out there. This is
not a we're being weird about Flavortown food fight thing. No, they're really trying to scrub it from the internet.
It's hard to find out there, but it is there. Anyway, I could hear it, but it was really faint. And I was like, okay, so this is Deep Blue Sea.
Right.
Maybe we're getting literally the tail end of the credits, so it's starting to fade out.
Yeah.
So then I start rewinding it, and it's doing the slower run, so you can see the images and everything, and you can tell, okay, this is the movie, because it's playing backwards. So then I do the full rewind where it's the blue screen. It goes much faster. We get all the way to the beginning. We start watching it from the beginning, and the thing that fully sells us that somebody has illegally recorded this in some fashion, and I thought that it was one of those machines that you can get where you can put one tape in, you put a blank tape in, and it will record onto the new tape.
We used to have one of those.
Yeah, I think that was like a fairly, not like the most common thing, but they were out there. People used them.
Because we would use them to like record stuff on TV.
Right, exactly. That was the most common use case for it. And so my initial thought was somebody rented this from Blockbuster and they recorded it onto another tape. But it was about 75% of the way through the movie, I think. And we can't understand but maybe every third word being said by any character.
Garbled. Oh my god.
It's so bad. The color looks really bad. It's like the scan lines are terrible on this thing. The color correction is awful. It's so bad.
Yeah.
75% of the way through the runtime on this movie, we both hear ringtone.
Someone's ringtone.
Somebody's ringtone from their cell phone. A 1999 through like 2007 probably era cell phone chirp. Immediately silenced. You never hear it again. And then I realized, I was like, what they've done. Because it like, it all immediately clicked into place. I heard all that. We looked at each other and was like, was that a cell phone that just went off? And then I'm looking, and typically on movies you get what I think it's like letterboxing or whatever the bars that they put at the top and bottom of the screen. The black bars that they do on those things. I noticed there's not one at the top, and there is one at the bottom, but it is slanted.
It's tilted, yeah.
And then I was looking at it, and I was like, somebody set up a camcorder aimed at their TV, and what we're watching is somebody recording it and just blasting the audio into a room. And what 100% confirms that is what's happening is at the climax of this movie, when they fucking blow up the shark at the end of it. Spoilers. I'm sorry. Sorry, y'all.
Spoilers from this movie from 1999.
When they blow up the shark, thunderous applause from like 5 people in somebody's living room goes off.
And also, you forgot my favorite part.
Yeah.
A cat meowing. So we found somebody's home-recorded, bootleg version of Deep Blue Sea at the Goodwill.
Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to frame it.
And now it's my favorite possession. And if anything happens to it, I will sob.
It came together so perfectly at the end of the movie. Everyone's clapping. I'm just like, what is happening? Yes. And also, why are they clapping?
They were very invested in the movie.
Because the clapping almost made me think, oh, maybe they're in a movie theater. Because some people do that
too.
But I'm just like, it's not nearly enough people for that to be the case.
Yeah.
And also, the camera is so still.
Yes.
Like, it's not necessarily straight,
but it's so still. He would have had to set it
up
on a tripod at the movie theater.
And I also think the audio would be like...
way better.
Well, I don't know. I actually don't know if it would be better. It very clearly is just recorded through whatever in microphone on the camcorder. But I think you'd be able to hear it
better because the audio would be like surround sound in the theater, and so you would be catching it more.
Maybe. It could just be more garbled because it's just like garbled. Way louder and too much for the microphone
That's true.
To pick up. I don't know. All I know is we could barely understand what any of the characters were saying. So... our review of this movie is a combination of the experience we had, which is going to be pretty unique to us, I think.
Yes, unless you want to come over.
I'll show it to you anytime.
Yeah. Come on over. If you know us personally, pull up.
Get in here. But it's also going to be, it's a mix of that, and it's also going to be what I remember about the movie.
And what Wikipedia
and what we looked up about the movie, because we did need a little help on this one.
Yeah. It's like I could catch enough that I could put things together through context of like, oh, they're having an argument.
Oh, she didn't like that.
She did not like that. You see that face?
Yeah.
But truly, like, there was one scene in particular where you and it was between Carter Blake, who is like this shark hunter that works at...
Yeah.
He's like a shark scientist, I guess, but he's not one of the like big brain science
he's
guys.
Like the Wrangler guy.
He's the Wrangler.
He's in the entire movie like constantly wearing a fucking wetsuit for some reason. I mean, later in the movie it makes sense, but like, anyway.
He's the shark wrangler. I think that's a good way to describe it. And then Russell, who is the finance guy that gets sent to this facility, because basically at the beginning of the movie we get like a cold open where a group of 20-somethings teens are hanging out on like a little pontoon boat thing, and they get attacked by a shark. Yeah, but no one dies.
Yeah, before the shark can kill anyone, Carter shows up and he basically stops the shark.
Yes. And then this causes the financing behind
Aquatica, I think is the name of the company.
Behind this research base to send a corporate executive to basically be like, we gotta see what's going on here, and if you guys are...
What kind of operation are you running here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, so there's a scene between Russell, who is that corporate executive, and then Carter, who is the shark wrangler, and they are having like a pretty long conversation. Yes. And you and I are, anytime we catch a word, we're saying it out loud. Yeah. So we're like, St. Louis. I heard St. Louis.
We're so locked in on this conversation, and we can still only pick up like every other word at best.
Occasionally you'd get like a full sentence and it felt like a fucking gift.
Well, and it was crazy though, because you'd get this full sentence, but you'd have no other context around it.
Right.
So they'd just be like, I survived a plane crash. And you're like, what? You're underwater right now. Why is that relevant? Why are we talking about this?
I think there was something about Russell's...
No, there was. I know the whole thing. I know why it's relevant for Russell, and it's important because his character, it gets revealed. He's introduced as like the money guy, and people don't like him because he's corporate and whatever about him. And like, I think there is like, that's legitimate, like whatever about his character. But it gets revealed, by him once things start breaking bad that he has been in a survival situation before, which was this plane crash.
Yes.
And I think the wider context of it and why he's like even talking about it is one, that he's been through something before that would be considered traumatic and certainly a survival situation. But two, he wasn't in it by himself. He was with other people. And he's saying that in that scenario, more of them could have made it out alive if they didn't all turn on each other.
Right, if they all work together.
So he's trying to make sure that this group in this scenario with these hyper-intelligent sharks that are hunting them don't also turn on each other so that they can all make it out.
Right.
That's why it's relevant. But it's like when you only get one sentence where he's like, airplane.
And you're like, how's that relevant?
And you're like, man, you're so many meters below the ocean surface right now. What are you talking about? It's so great.
It was a fantastic viewing experience.
No, it wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, perfect. Let's talk a little bit more about what happens in this movie. So, like I said, they send in Russell, and basically what is going on is they are trying to isolate like a protein in the brain that like doesn't fire or something in Alzheimer's cases.
Right.
So that's what they're interested in.
Right.
But what has been happening behind the scenes, because the scientist, I think her name's Susan.
Susan, yes.
She reveals later on that basically the mako shark's brain wasn't big enough to really like do this experiment and like produce the volume of like this protein that would be needed. And so they have genetically modified them to increase their brain size, which is just like phony sance that doesn't make sense.
Right, yeah. You know? And this is the sci-fi portion of it, right? Like this is all made up stuff that doesn't actually, it's not based in anything.
No, otherwise we would have solved Alzheimer's.
Yeah, we would have gotten it. We just need big mako sharks. We just need
really big sharks. She and the other doctor, Jim, have kind of done this in secret. They have not been fully communicating this to the investors, to even like the rest of the team, because they know that this is potentially
it's super unethical, right? Like unethical. They're doing these things to these animals.
Yeah,
like
they're living
we
beings.
Can talk about this as a horror movie or whatever, and this is one of the things about shark movies. I really enjoy shark movies, and a lot of them are just like exploitation at the expense of sharks, and turning them into these mindless killing machines. And I think one of the things about this movie, maybe one of the reasons I enjoy it so much, is that the sharks don't start off as mindless killing machines. They're normal sharks, and then because humans are humans, they corrupt them in such a way that, like, honestly, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, good for the sharks.
Yeah, this is a good for her movie, except her is a shark.
Yeah, exactly. And it's super unethical what they end up doing to these sharks in order to basically prove that their research, and I mean, in the myth of this world that they exist in, they end up being right. Right. We end up getting a scene where they, sedate the mama shark, the biggest one of them. I think it's implied, if not outright stated. I wouldn't know because you can't understand. Not on our copy. Anything. Tell us if you watch it, if you can understand what they said. But I think it's implied that the biggest one is like the mother of the two smaller ones, and one of those is a female, one is a male shark. Yeah. Anyway, But they end up sedating the biggest one, and when that happens, they're able to like test it, and it works. You can see the neurons firing in the brain and all that, and they're like, oh, we did it, or whatever. But they're also commenting when they do this, they're like, we're skipping like months or weeks of like trials and condensing it into like a few hours. So also not good. But like they've kind of backed themselves into a corner with all of this because now Russell is here and they have to prove what they're doing is going to lead to anything. Otherwise they won't get more funding. So now they kind of have to come clean with all of this. So it's this very, like, it all kind of comes to a head very quickly.
Yeah. There's, you know, you get some build up in this movie, but then once it pops off, it really pops off.
Yeah. It just kind of goes from there and then you're in it.
Because the shark is sedated, but then after they run this experiment on it,
the shark, keep the shark sedated.
I'm coming out. I'm sedated. Anyway,
DJs,
listen, we're doing your job again. So after the shark gets injected with the stuff, there's kind of like this jump scare moment where the shark rips the arm, I think.
Yeah, he bites Jim's arm off.
Jim, who's the other doctor. And that's what really kind of sparks all of this. So they end up putting... What happens to the big shark? Do they put it back in the water?
Carter is... He goes to... Because I commented on this. He immediately runs over to some kind of gun that they have in the bay. And he breaks the glass with his unprotected elbow, which would assuredly cut his arms to ribbons.
But
he's fine
for, you know, actually taking some action here.
And he was just going to shoot and kill the shark. But Susan, seeing that what he's about to do, smashes the button and sends the shark back down into the water.
So the sharks are all in the pool again, but then they have to get Jim, because he's still alive, they have to get him airlifted, so they radio for a helicopter to medevac him out.
And also there's like a wicked storm coming through,
of course, whatever, because there always is.
Why not? You've seen Jurassic Park, you know how this goes.
Yeah, you know this is basically Jaws meets Jurassic Park.
Yes, it's and a little bit of Die Hard.
Yeah. But anyway, so they do get a helicopter.
Shark dressed up like Hans Gruber.
That would be
sick as hell.
Doing the voice.
Yes. Yippee-ki-yay.
Anyway, so they get a helicopter to lift him out, but of course, like, it's raining and conditions are poor and visibility is low. And the cable that they have to lift him from the stretcher from the ground into the helicopter gets jammed. And so for whatever reason, the helicopter pilot just decides, let me keep him as close to the pool of water as physically possible while we scream and holler about this.
And then eventually the cable gives out and then it drops him into the water where the sharks are residing, and then it turns the helicopter and Jim, who is on a stretcher and can't do anything, basically into a giant like hook and like a fishing rod kind of setup, and it starts dragging the helicopter.
And the helicopter smashes into the radio tower, killing some people.
That poor woman. She was the only one in there, and I don't even remember her name. Partly... Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got that, because... I just remember she got absolutely just toasted at the beginning of this movie.
She didn't even know what was happening.
No, she didn't know anything. She just gets blown up, and I was like, honestly, oh, man.
In some ways, like, I think I'd rather go out like that.
Right? Yeah.
So, than getting ripped apart by a shark.
Yeah.
But anyway, so helicopter crashes into the radio tower, so now they don't have contact with anyone.
Yeah. And the facility is, like, basically exploding at this point.
It is completely falling apart. But the thing that really puts the nail in the coffin is that one of the sharks grabs Jim, still in the stretcher,
who's somehow not drowned.
He does have an oxygen mask on. I don't know how that would work.
There's no way that oxygen mask is watertight around his mouth.
I've had an oxygen mask on before, and they have holes in them.
There's no way.
But he's still alive. And a shark grabs him on the stretcher and slams him into the viewing window of that like chamber that everybody else is in.
Yeah.
And when that happens, it cracks the glass, which also like how fucking strong is this shark that like, because like couldn't it have done that at any point then? Smash the glass. But anyway, smashes it into him, and now the water is starting to come into the facility. Yeah. And so not only is it like on fire on one end, but it's also flooding in the other major areas.
Yeah. And it's not just flooding, it's also sinking.
Yes.
Importantly, the entire facility is sinking further and further into the ocean.
Which is a terrifying prospect.
Now allowing the sharks to take over more and more of the facility. I think that's more or less like that's the rest of the movie. Is the rest of the crew is just going through different areas of the facility.
Just them, like they start out as a big group and they're kind of, well, Preacher is by himself in the kitchen, but everybody else is together in a group, and they're really just trying to survive the situation. Yes. So they are trying to traverse into, you know, higher ground to get onto the surface.
Well, at first they're actually trying to go lower into the facility because there's like a pool room thing and there's like a submersible thing that's supposed to be in there. And I think when they get down there though, it's not there because I think it got like dislodged in the explosion or something. I think that's right,
or it got damaged
or something like this, so they can't do it. And so then they're like, well, now the only way to go from here is we have to go into the water and then swim up to the surface. And then they're all like, hey, that's not going to work.
Because there's a bunch of fucking sharks.
There's sharks out there.
Yeah, and they want to kill us.
They are trying, unless you forgot, they are trying to kill us right now.
Actively in this moment. I mean, that's pretty much the movie, is them trying to survive, and they're getting picked off one by one by the sharks who are, you know, ripping them apart, tearing them apart. Yeah. And then, like, Preacher kind of has his own like B plot going on where we check in with him periodically, and there's a part that also hilariously, when his kitchen floods, one of the sharks comes in, does eat his parrot, which is fucked up, but he ends up getting into the oven in order to escape the shark, which two things are wrong with that. Two things.
Only two.
Only two.
Surprisingly, only two.
First, once again, how is this oven watertight? I don't think ovens are watertight.
No, pretty sure they're not.
No. But no water is getting in.
Literally none. Not a drop.
And then, secondly, we just saw a shark ram into presumably this like specially engineered glass.
Yeah, glass that would need to withstand the pressure of being underwater, like aquarium level, if not thicker glass.
Yes. But this shark is trying to get in, you know, it's a regular like convection oven you'd see in a commercial kitchen with the big window.
With the window on it,
And like seemingly can't get in there.
Nope.
The only thing that the shark does manage to do is turn the oven on, which puts poor Preacher in a pickle.
I do think it does start cracking the glass, but it takes it like a while.
It has to ram it multiple times because it's like a big tense scene where you're like, oh shit, he's got to like, either he's got to face a shark or he's going to burn alive in an oven. Yeah. You know?
I would argue the best parts of this entire movie are the LL Cool J sections. Any part where he's in it
steals the movie.
Is literally the best part of this movie. It's so good. I am locked in every single time about it. We both, for some reason, thought the parrot did live through the entire movie.
For some reason, I also
had a distinct memory of when they're on the surface, the bird flies back to him.
This is like a weird Mandela effect.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm so glad you said this because I have a clear memory at
You're so brave for saying it.
At the very end, I have this clear memory in my head of the bird landing on his shoulder.
Yes, and they're sitting there waiting as after they've killed the shark and everything, and the bird flies back, and he's like, hell yeah, or whatever.
If you know anything about this movie, and if there were like multiple endings, like fucking let me know, because this is driving me crazy.
I actually do know that there was a different ending originally.
I know a different one. You go.
But it's not the It has nothing to do with the bird.
It has nothing to do with the bird.
It's a different character living and dying.
Yes.
By the end of the movie. Anyway, but so yeah, that whole scene in the kitchen where the shark's trying to get him in the oven and everything is honestly really entertaining. It's really fun because he somehow outruns the fucking mako shark in chest deep water. He makes it into the oven, and then he has this axe that he has found, and he chops through because like a double stack oven.
It's a double oven,
and he chops through to get into the top part of the oven, and then gets out that way, and then dives into the water. The shark doesn't realize he's done this.
Yes.
And then he has a lighter and he throws it.
Well, because the shark has turned on the gas.
Yeah.
And so he's created a gas leak and filled the room with gas.
Yeah.
And so he throws his lighter and causes an explosion.
Yeah, and he blows the shark up.
Yeah, which is fucking badass.
So already at the top of when everything's going down, LL Cool J won. Sharks also won. But not LL Cool J.
Well,
I guess
maybe 0.5.
2?
Because it's a bird.
3. Because Jim's definitely dead.
Jim's dead.
Brenda's dead.
Bird is dead. Bird
definitely
like
dead. So 2.5.
Yeah.
But LL Cool J's, he's not out yet.
One.
Yeah. He got a point on the board. That's all I'm saying. And he did it by himself. Wasn't in a group. And he was caught off guard.
Yep.
Because I think one of the important things about LL Cool J in this movie is that when everything starts to happen with the facility, the explosion happens from the helicopter, but he doesn't witness this. He's like in the kitchen when this happens, and it sends like this shockwave through the whole facility, and like, stuff falls all over the place.
Yeah, he's got no idea what's going on.
He just thinks like something happened for sure, and he notices like the facility's leaking at certain points until like a door bursts open and there's like floods the area that he's in. But he has no idea that the sharks are in here. Right. So he's taken completely by surprise when the shark shows up, and he still comes out on top of that shark. So, absolutely.
Meanwhile, you've got shark wrangler and shark scientists who are just sitting on their hands.
Yeah. There are some really entertaining sequences in the movie. Definitely. There's also just some moments where you're just like, I mean, because it's a horror movie and kind of a bad action movie and all of this stuff, like there are certain things you're just like, why would they do that? Why would they do it this way?
Yeah.
But whatever. You kind of just like turn your brain off a little bit and just kind of go along with the ride.
Yeah.
Overall, it's really, really, really fun.
Super fun movie.
The ending of the movie, we'll get into a little bit of spoilers because there was, I guess technically is an alternate ending, but they scrapped that and refilmed it. Susan, the scientist, she is one of the final 3 survivors, along with Carter, the shark wrangler, and Preacher, the LL Cool J.
Yeah.
And they make it to the surface, but they realize there's only one shark left. It's the mama shark. Mm-hmm. And the realization sets in that because they were inside the facility the whole time, they didn't know until they got up there. Not only was the facility flooding, but like I said, it was sinking, and that the sharks were hurting them specifically up the facility to flood more and more of the facility so that it would sink, so that this stainless steel fence or whatever that was up top that the sharks could bite through, that they would be able to have access and then escape the facility and get out into the ocean.
Into the world. Yeah. So
this was the sharks' plan the entire time, is the realization that they have. The original ending of the movie had the scientist, Susan, Carter, and Preacher all surviving this.
Right.
But they scrapped it because test audiences saw that and they actually viewed her as like a super villain in all of this. And they're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
About
there's even like, there's a whole point where everybody else is like trying to survive, and she's like, oh, I'm going to take a detour to my room to get my research because that's actually the most important thing here.
Yes. And she does kill one of the sharks in the process of doing this, but she also loses her research.
She has to like let go of the research.
Yeah.
And like she doesn't want to, but she has to realize like it's my life or it's the research.
Right.
And so she picks her life.
Right. And she electrocutes one of the sharks, which is, I mean, it's a fun moment. Whatever.
Yeah, it's cool.
But
it's the only time that it gets a little horny because she gets in her bra and panties.
It's very true. But anyway, in the actual ending of this movie, she realizes like the only way to save or to stop the shark from escaping, because it's about to escape and bite through the fence, is she cuts her hand, dives into the water to distract the shark. And then it stops and comes after her, and it basically like tears her apart instantly. Yeah. But while this is happening, I can't remember if Preacher or
Carter and Preacher have rigged up this whole scenario
with dynamite on like a harpoon gun.
It's not dynamite. Basically, what they've done is they have connected the harpoon wire to a battery.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
And it's going to send an electrical current and an explosive charge into the shark.
Yes.
So she, kills herself basically by doing that. Carter grabs onto the shark's dorsal fin and Preacher shoots it with the harpoon, but he accidentally pins Carter to the shark.
Yes.
And right before Preacher connects the wire to the battery, because Carter's basically telling him like,
don't just do it. We can't let the shark get out. So whatever.
But he's going to die too because he's connected. But literally like milliseconds.
As the shark swims out of the facility, Carter grabs onto like the fence or whatever and it rips the harpoon out of his leg. Mm-hmm. So the shark swims off. But Preacher doesn't know this.
Yes. And then Preacher connects it to the battery and causes a big, explosion as it tries to escape. And then, there's that whole tense moment where it's like, oh, did he survive? And then he emerges from the water and you're like, yay, Carter lived. Yeah. So Carter and Preacher survive in the end. And in our version of the movie, the parrot also lives.
The parrot also made it out of the facility.
Yeah.
Give us the parrot edit.
Yeah.
Where's that ending, Hollywood?
Truly, if you've seen Deep Blue Sea, will you tell me if you thought the parrot lived? Because I could have sworn...
I would have bet money that the parrot made it out. Because we commented about it when we first saw the parrot on the screen. I was like, oh yeah, the parrot makes it all the way to the end too. Yeah. It's like a whole thing, like the parrot's taunting LL Cool J through the facility. Right. And then it makes it out of the end.
And it makes it. Yeah. But no. Apparently that
didn't happen. The parrot definitely gets swallowed by a shark.
So, I don't know. Maybe there's another edit. Maybe that's like the director's cut or something. I don't know. Anyway, the two of them survive. Rescue boat comes in or helicopter or something and saves them. So that's the movie. That's Deep Blue Sea. It's definitely worth a watch if you've never seen it. And if you have seen it, please confirm if you saw the parrot edit. Do you want to rate it?
Yes. Let's rate it.
So, our scores were actually pretty distant this time. Yeah. I think I gave it a firm but fair score. Mm-hmm. And I think you gave it a nostalgic score.
No, I gave it an appropriate score.
Okay. So, I gave
it... One of us was needlessly unkind and mean.
Bigger, faster, meaner, whatever, smarter.
Yeah.
So I gave it a 6.4. Yeah. And Curtis gave it a 7.4. So we have a full point difference. Yeah. To come to a combined total of 6.9.
Nice.
I think both of our highest scores are in entertainment, and I think that's accurate.
Easily.
This is a movie that is solely about the ride.
Absolutely. This movie feels like, and I mean this in the best possible way, a theme park ride.
Yes.
It just, I don't know what it is about the movie, but it feels like I'm in this thing and I'm going through and I'm having a fun time.
Yeah, they should make a ride like that. That would be super fun.
It would be really cool.
That'd be very fun. Yeah, I thought, interestingly enough, normally we don't break down and have to justify our individual scores. Why did you give this a 6 for scares?
It's kind of bloody. It's scary, what the depths of evil that humanity will go to. It's so kind of more of like an existential kind of,
I see.
evil all around us.
Okay.
Okay. Furthering violence against sharks. And they're just animals, you know what I mean? It's pretty...
I will say, another fun fact I learned
The bird dies.
That should have bumped it up at another level.
Yeah.
I will say an interesting fact that I saw was when they were doing, pre-production, I should say, on this movie, initially they had a little bit of a hard time finding, scientists, marine biologists that would help consult with them because they were worried about big Hollywood pictures that would demonize sharks like Jaws did.
Yes.
But then they actually sent the script to some people and they were like, no. Humans are the bad guys.
Yes, man is the real enemy here.
And then they had a bunch of people be like, we're in.
That's what I'm saying. This movie's woke as hell.
It's very woke. Yeah. So they ended up getting some people.
Deep Blue Sea gets it. They're not just mindless killing machines. The sharks are out for revenge because the humans were doing unethical shit. Yes. The humans say it. It's not even like you have to guess at it. They're like, hey, yeah, we shouldn't have done this.
It's not subtext, it's text.
It's just there.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty fun. That the scientists were like, we're not fucking getting our hands dirty with some more Jaws shit and demonizing sharks. And then they were like, no.
Yes.
The humans genetically modify them and it's their fault, not the sharks.
And then I kind of feel like the ones after that, I have to go back and watch them, but I really don't want to. Kind of lose the plot on that.
I've blacked out the other ones because I truly couldn't tell you one thing about them.
One of them I remember a little bit. It's mostly on an island. There's like a ship right off the coast where the bad guy...
Oh, I think I do remember this.
And I think the premise of it is that the shark has like had babies, but the babies exist in these like piranha-like swarms.
Right.
That like they catch up to the people and then they like tear them apart in these like, you know, swarms of little baby sharks that are ravenous or something. I don't know. It's stupid. They're really bad. Those ones are really bad and probably not worth your time to watch.
So there's only 2 sequels.
Oh, so there's only 3. I thought it went to 4, so it only goes to 3.
Yeah, it only goes to 3.
And I'm pretty sure that island one is 3 then.
Yeah, let's see. Deep Blue Sea 3. Yeah, that's the one. Dr. Emma Collins leads a team at a small island studying the effects of climate change on great white sharks. The study is disrupted when her marine biologist ex-boyfriend arrives searching for some enhanced bull sharks.
That's right.
And then the second one says a shark conservation biologist is hired for a non-public confidential project involving genetically enhanced bull sharks. Funded by a pharmaceutical billionaire with questionable ethics, the mogul plans to medically market intelligence. So I think that sets up who these bull sharks are that then come back in the third one.
Right. Interesting that in the sequels they got away from Makos and they went to bull sharks.
Yeah, I don't really know why they did that.
You know, and I think probably in the original Deep Blue Sea they went with Makos because they wanted to do something different than great white sharks.
Yeah.
Like, great white sharks are, like, the quintessential in, like, every shark movie. Like, that's the one that you're always dealing with is a great white. Mm-hmm. And so I think they probably just did it to get away from that. But then it seems like they were like, we'll just do bull sharks. Because I remember around that time that these movies would have been coming out, like, I was really into, like, Shark Week and stuff. And, like, invariably on Shark Week, which is not necessarily good or anything. I think a lot of those things, again, play into that, like, exploitation of sharks as animals and, you know, really plays up that they're these, like, vicious, violent killing machines. And it's like, they're not, you know. I am pretty terrified of sharks. I will never get into a cage and dive with them and everything like that. But I just respect them as animals, and I probably shouldn't be in that environment. Yeah. And that's really it. So, whatever. Anyway, but I remember a lot of those TV shows and specials centering around, obviously, great white sharks, because those are the big bad ones of the ocean.
Right.
But then also bull sharks were the other one, because... And I don't know if this is true or not, but this is like, it's probably not. Maybe it is. I don't know. A lot of these things would talk about how like bull sharks were just like really aggressive.
I think that is true, actually, that they're known for being like of sharks. They're known for being the more aggressive.
They're also like one of, if not the only sharks that can exist in freshwater. Like they can be found like upstream in rivers that connect to the ocean, because there have been recorded shark attacks in like the Mississippi River and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which would be well enough upriver from where the ocean is that it would just be fresh water, so like they can exist in that. So, I mean, there's a level of that would make them somewhat more terrifying. But again, they're animals. Like there's nothing, they're not sitting out there like, ooh, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. They're not.
I'm gonna catch you.
Yeah. They're not doing that. Like they're truly just animals. And in that conversation that I think the Shark Wrangler and Russell are having,
right, the one we couldn't hear,
I think part of that conversation is he's talking about like shark attacks on humans are relatively rare, and sharks don't even like the taste of humans. The only way that they really attack humans is if they think you're a seal or you're a suit, right? Because he doesn't like Russell, so he's kind of poking fun or whatever. But, like, I feel like this movie actually does kind of a lot to be like, the sharks aren't, like, yes, they're fine. Like, they're bad in this movie, but it's because humans explicitly made them bad.
Right.
And also, like, they get a fair bit of revenge on the humans that did this to them. Right. So, like, you can kind of feel good for the sharks. Should they get out and, like, you know, go hunt other people? Probably not. But I also, it's interesting because I think you can get into this, like, wider commentary about it at the end of the movie. I think there is a more pessimistic view that if the shark were to escape and get out into the ocean, it's going to hunt down people. Sure. We see that at the beginning of the movie where it is harassing people on a boat. So I think, you know, that's the argument you could say, like, it is just going to go hunt more people.
Right.
But from, like, an animal perspective, like, there's a reason why apex predators sometimes, like, don't choose to attack other animals or people, because, like, they're intelligent enough to know that, like, I might win in this fight and kill this thing, but if this antelope breaks my leg,
then I'm fucked.
I could have this meal, I can't hunt anymore, and I will die. And they will just choose to back off sometimes. And so you would kind of think, if the shark has this, like, mega intelligence, that, like, maybe when it first gets out, it's going after people because people are bad and I'm going to kill people or whatever.
It's on a revenge spree.
But then when it starts to realize, like, oh, this is actually, like, really dangerous and hard for me to do, I'm just going to go after, like, seals and stuff because I'm literally the smartest creature, like, in the ocean, so I can do whatever I want, kind of a thing. So we might not ever see it again is kind of my argument. I don't know until it raises an army of hyper intelligent sharks.
And then we're in a world of hurt.
So who knows? Anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. I thought a lot about this movie, if you couldn't tell.
I also just wanted to briefly mention, maybe what we were thinking is that it has been confirmed that a 4th movie is in development.
No way. Since when?
Since 2023.
Okay, that's not that long ago.
Only 3 years.
That's only 3 years.
But apparently it said that, like, things had been slowed because of the 2023 writer strikes and all that stuff that was going on. So I have no idea when this would come out, if it will ever see the light of day. But there is one that has been in development.
Oh, please give me another garbage shark movie. I need it. I need it in my blood.
So I think that's everything that we had to say about Deep Blue Sea, right?
Did you have your favorite, like, was your scariest moment?
I mean, I think the moment that, like, I remember from being a kid is when LL Cool J's in the oven.
Yeah, I think that's, like, the most standout sequence in the entire thing. I think genuinely the scariest moment for me, there are 2 that really stand out. It is when Jim gets his arm bitten off, because
it's so shocking.
It is a big setup. You know it's coming. Because we've made it through this movie, to this point, nobody's been killed by a shark yet. So we know somebody's going to have to beef it here in a minute. So we know that happens. The other moment is when Samuel L. Jackson's character, Russell, gets killed by the shark. Because it's literally right at the top of him making this, like, big heroic, like, we're all going to get out of here if we work together. And then a shark literally gets him where you think they're safe. And you're like, oh.
That was pretty shocking. I will also say, it's not necessarily the scariest, but I liked the framing of when Jan dies, because there's a scene where they're in. I don't even remember what they're in. It looks like a silo, but I'm sure it's not. But that's what they're in, like a circular.
It's an elevator shaft.
An elevator shaft. Yeah, that's right. But they're in there, and Carter is on higher ground and trying to, like, help Jan up. And then she goes under the surface of the water, and you're like, oh shit. And then there's, like, the cool slow-mo shot where the shark, like, breaches, and he's got her.
Yeah, it looks almost like she's jumping out of the water.
She's, like, reaching out with her hand.
And then the whole mouth of the shark comes up with her in it, and you're like, ah!
Yeah, so, like, I thought that was, like, a cool shot, how it was done. I don't know that it's necessarily scary to me.
No, it is cool.
This isn't a movie I find scary, but, like,
I guess you're okay with the atrocities of humans against animals.
I guess so. You know, animal testing for the win or whatever.
At least a 6.
But I did like that scene. Like, I think it's a cool shot.
Yeah.
When she's, like, emerging from the water and, like, you think she's reaching out, but then actually her whole bottom half is in the shark's mouth.
And then she gets dragged around and pulled out.
Yeah, it's pretty violent.
Fun. Yeah. Most of the kills from the sharks are, like, pretty violent. There's one, I don't remember who it is, but it's somebody, like, when all of the sharks are together, they grab the body. And it might be Russell, and they literally, like, pull them apart. Yeah. Which is very, the Lost World Jurassic Park, when the one guy gets killed by the 2 T-Rexes. They throw him in the air, and they grab him and they pull him apart. And that guy did not deserve... That guy was literally just trying to help people not fall off a cliff. Yeah. Like, he was there to, like, save people, not harass the dinosaurs, and that guy gets murdered. That was one of the saddest deaths in Jurassic Park, like... hands down. And, like, universally, everyone's like, that guy did not deserve that.
Yeah. I thought the parrot death was the saddest.
Yeah.
Except in my version of the movie where he lives.
Yeah. Well, that one parrot dies, but apparently they had a fleet of other parrots, and maybe the other ones made it out. The other one made it out.
Maybe he had more than one.
Yeah, he made multiple birds.
We don't know.
We never
know what he was doing.
LL Cool J and the parrots are never in the same room at the same time, so we don't know. Is LL Cool J just a bunch of parrots in an LL Cool J costume?
Yeah,
Who knows?
In a chef's coat.
Yeah. In an underwater facility.
I think that will do it for us.
Yeah, that's pretty much
if you
it.
have thoughts on Deep Blue Sea, or you want to give us any suggestions of movies to watch, you can reach out to us on social media. We are at First Fright Pod on Instagram and X. We also have a Facebook page. It's Love at First Fright. And you can send us an email. It's firstfrightpod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. It always makes our day. Mm-hmm. So go follow us on social media.
Yeah. And then you'll know. Well, we don't really tweet about the movie that we're, like, gonna watch or anything. But I could start. But
we could start doing that.
I could. Probably won't. But
yeah.
You know, then I can talk to you guys about when I do watch a really shitty shark movie. I hate, because some of you are probably like, oh, you might like the 47 Meters Down movies, at least. I don't. I hate those movies. They're garbage. They're bad. They're stupid, and I do not like them. I'll talk to you in person about it for like an hour if you bring it up.
Yeah, don't start it now. We're at the end of the episode.
I do not like them. The scene where she is swimming up and she has the flare because the sharks are, for some fucking reason, afraid of light. That doesn't make any fucking sense anyway. And she pulls it out, and there's like a million sharks with their mouths all open, like creeping in, and then she turns it on, and they're like, fuck, get out of here. We can't be seen. Or whatever. Like, as though they wouldn't just instantly rip her apart.
Right.
And then you get up when she gets onto the boat, and then you realize that she's having like a psychosis thing because she has the bends because she tried to swim up too fast or whatever. Or she's the whatever sickness because she's still down in the cage. So she never actually like tried to escape, and then you're like, oh, it was all kind of a hallucination. Shitty way to end the movie.
Yeah.
It's just garbage. And then you could be like, well, then that's why the sharks are... I don't care. You made me waste like 2 hours of my time over a thing of somebody just drowning underwater.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's not a movie. That's garbage. That's nothing. Stupid. Anyway, really stupid. And then the second one, the sharks in some ancient temple and they're blind. This is a 2-hour episode now, and I'm talking about every shark movie I've ever watched. Anyway, they're bad. They're stupid. Don't watch them. Or do. I don't care. I'm not your dad. Anyway, as always, scare well, and see you next time.
Goodbye. My hat is like a shark's fin. Goodbye. My hat is like a shark's fin. Such a banger of a song.